The need to measure time and measure specific events has existed basically as long as people have. It was very quickly recognised that it would be very important in all areas of life. What a chronograph does essentially is forces the user to engage with the watch that's on their wrist, but perhaps slightly romantically it forces the user to go a step further and actually engage with the world around them as well. The earliest example I know of the chronograph is an English watch by Charles Good, and it was made between 1690 and 1695. This featured a specific type of mechanism called a start-stop slide, which allows the user simply to stop the movement altogether. Moving into the 18th century, another example is the Josiah Emery chronometer that was created for Admiral Nelson. This also featured a start-stop slide. It was also the watch that he was wearing when he died, so it's very likely that this was the watch by which he timed the events of the Battle of Trafalgar. The 19th century saw advancements in the complexity and the accuracy of the chronograph. The 20th century concentrated more on its utility and its design. The chronograph was to endure the golden age of flight, motor racing, space travel and, importantly though tragically, wartime. One of the most striking developments of the 20th century was seeing the watch move from the pocket to the wrist. It is fair to say that the 20th century was the century in which the most famous and renowned chronograph watches were manufactured. These include pieces like the Patek Philippe 1463, the Rolex Daytona and the Omega Speedmaster. When people think of a chronograph, they usually think of a wristwatch, and the wristwatch will often have two pushers, one above and beneath the crown, and in most instances registers on the dial, either 2 or 3. I think collectors should aim to have a chronograph in their collections purely because it's an accessible complication to obtain, and it appeals to those who prefer complicated watches as much as it appeals to those who prefer more minimal watches. Also, the variety in their design really means that there's something for everybody.